Most people treat hot tub maintenance like a chore they'd rather avoid. And honestly, who can blame them? Nobody wants to spend their weekend measuring out a dozen different chemicals just to keep the water from turning into a science experiment. That is where this 5-pound tub of granules comes in. It is one of those products that actually tries to make the process less of a headache by combining two jobs into one. Instead of having a separate sanitizer and a separate shock, this stuff handles both. You use it in smaller amounts for your daily sanitizing, and then you just bump up the dose when you need to give the water a deep clean. It is a pretty clever way to clear out some shelf space in the garage. What really stands out is how fast it disappears once it hits the water. You pour it in while the jets are running, and it just vanishes. There is no waiting around for stubborn chunks to dissolve or worrying about them settling on the bottom of the tub and potentially staining the shell. It is also pH neutral, which is a huge win because it means you are not constantly fighting to get your water chemistry back in line after every treatment. You know how some chemicals make you feel like you are constantly chasing your tail with test strips? This avoids that frustration entirely. Now, the container itself is a solid 5 pounds, which is a decent amount, but the lid can be a little finicky if you get any moisture on the threads. You really have to make sure it is sealed tight, or you might find the granules clumping up over time, which is just a pain. It is not a deal breaker, but it is definitely something to watch out for if you are keeping this in a humid environment like a shed or right next to the spa. The performance is consistent though. It does exactly what it says on the label without any unnecessary drama. It is not going to magically fix a neglected, swampy tub overnight, but for regular, weekly upkeep, it is incredibly reliable. It takes the guesswork out of the equation, which is really all anyone wants when they just want to get in the water and relax. If you're tired of juggling multiple bottles and want something that just works without a steep learning curve, this is a solid pick. It is straightforward, it is effective, and it saves you from having to be a chemist every time you want to take a soak. It is not the cheapest option on the shelf, but for the convenience of having one product do the heavy lifting, it is hard to argue with the results. It is just one of those reliable staples that makes owning a hot tub feel a lot more like a luxury and a lot less like a part-time job.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.